Okay, good morning. We're ready to go, and I am excited to be here today. This is a little outside my comfort zone, to be honest. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Heather Barker. I am the Director of Relocation for the Enterprise. And what the department does, if you don't know what that means, we have two main functions within the company. The first is to be a profit center. So we assist relocation management companies with employees that are relocating across the nation and are coming here to Utah. Our team of agents is about 10% of our agent population. That's pretty standard across the board. And that's really one of our main roles. The second role of our department is to be a service center for the agents. So we're constantly looking for ways to bring value to you. One of the greatest assets that we provide is outgoing referral placement process. So if you don't use that, you're missing out on a great opportunity. And I'm going to use Andrea Gardner because I see Andrea there. Hi, Andrea. She's in our St. George office. She is constantly sending out these outbound referrals. And she just had a closing for one, I believe it was in Texas, and it was a $1.3 million deal. And she made close to $8,000 on that deal. So this is an opportunity that you are missing out on if you are not placing referrals through this department. What that means, it's a buyer or seller need that you have anywhere outside your marketplace. So if you have someone you're working with that has a need that you can't service, you should be calling me and we will help you place that, track it, and make sure you get paid for it. So that is one of the single best products that we bring to you and services that we bring to you as agents. And if you're interested in more about that, you should come to our class that we teach through Peak Agent Training. And I can't remember when the next one is, but it's sometime in September or October. Russ, remember? Anyway, and we'll tell you about all the other services that we can bring to you. I could talk about this for the next hour, but I'm not going to. I'm going to kind of stretch myself today and talk about something that I'm very passionate about in addition to the relocation industry and the specialty that it is. And that is manifesting magic in your life. I've become very good at it, I think. I like to tell myself that, not to brag and not to be like, oh, my life's so great, but to reinforce in my mind that we are powerful, that we are creators, that we are co-creators in our lives. And I like to remind the universe that I'm here and ready to receive. So the thing that I wanted to talk about really is the Napoleon Hill self-confidence formula. So we read this every single day. If you're on this call, then you are reading this with us every day. Hopefully you're saying it out loud and you're saying it like you mean it. And the first three parts of it that I really, really like is, the first is to believe. You have to have a belief in the ability to co-create. And when you are excited about co-creating in life, it helps to have certain personal mantras and certain personal statements. Some of the ones I really like that I've read and heard, believe that anything is possible and it is possible to co-create your reality. Collaborate with the energy of the universe. Manifest miracles. Experience infinite possibilities. Explore your hidden power. So all of these things to me are really exciting and bring me a lot of joy and interest in creating some exciting things in my life. The second part of the formula is action. And we're going to talk a little bit about action later. I'm going to give some examples of that you have to be taking some action towards obtaining and co-creating your existence. And the third thing is really, I'm going to read it actually. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action. So that which we focus on increases. We hear that a lot. You know, we hear another way of saying it is our projection is a reflection of our perception of our life. Whatever we're projecting out there, that's what our perception is. The way we see the world, is the way that we perceive it. And this, I would say, is what George would call is our story. This is our story and what we're putting out there. We don't necessarily see ourselves as the director of our life, which is what I would say George would say is when we have the ability to change our story. So everything that we're focusing on, our thoughts become our emotions, lead to actions, lead to our results. And how often do we hear that? So all of this, none of this is new. None of this is something you haven't heard before, but I wanted to share an experience of, in my life And that is how I came to work with Everest, and how I didn't even know I was creating the opportunity, but I was. I had an experience with Everest before they were Century 21 Everest, and it was a requested agent referral. I was working at the time with another brokerage and doing relocation still. I was working on an account, and I had a requested agent referral with Matt Johnson. And I don't know that Matt's on the call today, but Matt's still at the company. He's up in our Centerville office, and he does a really great job on listing presentations. And he won the business, of course, and I always, when I get a requested agent referral, I always tried to give them something back, give them an opportunity to compete again. And this guy at Everest, he would just always win listings. And I was like, who is this guy? He's like with this no-name company, you know, this no brand company, right? An independent. And it was just at the time, less than 150 agents. But that was kind of my experience, my first experience with Everest. One day I had a referral come in, and this client had full move benefit package, and his home was already listed with an Everest agent. And this was a part-time agent, which is not allowed in the program. And it was with Everest and this company. And I knew I had to call this broker, the owner broker of this company, and have a difficult conversation with him. And in the past, whenever I had to call these brokers that, you know, they already have a listing agreement, they don't need to pay a referral fee, they don't need to agree to anything that I have to offer or ask. And I just anticipated that I was going to have a difficult time with this broker. When George called me, he was so concerned, called me back, I should say. I left him a message, and he called me back and he said, you know, we want to make sure that we protect this client's benefits. We want this family to have everything they need in order to make this relocation. I will work with these things out with my agents. We'll make sure Matt Johnson takes this over. We'll get things moving forward. And I just was so relieved that I actually gave him a break on the referral fee. You know, how often does that happen? I was just so grateful. So that was my experience with George, the first time I met him. Fast forward down the road, I was working at this company for 15 years. I thought I would serve my whole career to this company. I'm a very loyal person. I thought I'd be there forever. But it was 15 years into my career, and I was stuck. I started to feel like I need to grow. I need to do something different. You know, I'm doing the same thing every day, day in, day out, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing that way, but I want to increase my, you know, ability to manage. I wanted to be a manager. So I started going to my boss. I applied for every position that became available that was, you know, ahead of where I was. I talked to the president of the company. I talked to my regional manager. I was taking action. And what I realize now today and in my life, that a lot of times when we're taking that action towards obtaining something that we desire, we are eliminating objections. We are eliminating other opportunities that aren't quite ready for us in that moment. And we're creating a space for that other opportunity that's prepared for us to come into our space. If I hadn't taken that action, if I hadn't made those decisions, and then if I hadn't had the conversation with my boss, that he basically told me, sometimes you have to leave to grow. And I was shocked when he told me that. And I said, okay, I'll be gone in 3 months. You know, he's like, no, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that, you know, but I thought, what a gift that was, that he told me that, you know, you are going to be stuck here if you don't take other action. What the action did for me was prepared me for the opportunity that showed up in my life. The other thing at that time that I was doing, and I recommend doing, is every morning and sometimes throughout the day, I would sit with my palms up on my desk like this, and I would just say, I'm open and ready to receive. I'm open and ready to receive. I'm open and ready to receive. And really just feel that something big was coming, all right? So that's another cue that I use when I'm trying to create something new and exciting in my life. So I got a call one day from this broker, George Morris, and he said, hey, we just joined the Century 21 brand, and we're going to start a relocation division, and you're really one of the only people I've had, you know, interaction with around this. I was hoping maybe we could just get together and you can tell me what we need to do to get that going and get that set up. So the other thing that I do a lot is I say yes to opportunities that come. So I talked about this back in Summit, back in October, but if you are reaching for something in your life that's new and a little bit scary, you're going to have opportunities come your way that you need to say yes to. And so be open to that and say yes when it sounds a little uncomfortable or maybe something you don't necessarily want to do, but that is going to create additional opportunities in your life for growth and exciting manifestations. So I said yes, and I went and we had breakfast together, and I told him how to set up a department. And I knew I was on a job interview, even though he wasn't invited that, I wasn't invited in that way. And I knew I was going to work with this man. I knew I was going to have a future with this company. It took us 6 months to come around to terms. And, you know, the first time we tried to negotiate, it didn't work out. And so what I want to say about that, I had the same experience in Portland this past week. I went to Portland with my family, had a really great experience, and we went whale watching. And I was with my nieces and my nephew, my sister and her husband. And when we went out on the water, the person that was taking us out told us that it's cloudy today. We might not see well. So if you still want to go out, let's go out. If you don't, you know. And I told my niece, I said, hey, listen, let's just manifest this. Let's manifest the opportunity to see this well. So I talked about being grateful, really feeling gratitude for seeing this well. And we both really worked hard at it. And I really knew we were going to see a well. And so imagine my surprise when we got back and we hadn't seen a well. Okay, there was no well to be found. So I thought, wow, that was kind of disappointing. I thought I was going to teach my niece I had a great opportunity to teach my niece a lesson. And I was disappointed that, you know, I thought I was really good at creating this sort of thing. And why didn't it work? But I told her, luckily I had been listening to the book called The Universe Has Your Back. And I just told my niece, listen, the universe has our back. Just have faith that, you know, the universe has bigger, better plans for us, and it's okay. So that an hour and a half later, we were at lunch and we got a call, and it was the well watching company. And they said, we found the wells. You should come back and see the wells. And we did, and we went. And these wells, we just got out there really fast, right where that well was. And he ended up coming super close to our boat. It was a really great experience. And so what I want to say about manifesting is release your expectation on how it's going to come to you. So you don't always, it's not always going to show up the way you expect. So be sure and have that in the back of your mind. Put it out there, be grateful for it coming to you, and then let go and let it come to you. All right. So release that expectation. So when George and I met about this job opportunity and it didn't come to fruition, I was a little disappointed, but I knew I let it go. And then I was open and ready to receive. And 3 months later, we connected again and we came together, and I've been here ever since. And what I love knowing about Everest is I never will have to leave Everest in order to grow. I know that even whether it's my position or I choose to do something different within the company, this company is all about growing, becoming, and manifesting. And I just love that about working here. And I'm so grateful that I'm here. So I think we're doing pretty good on time. And so I just want to end with a practical way to just bring this into your day-to-day. I know that every single person on this call is going to get off this call and you're going to start prospecting right away. All right. So what I want you to do, I'm hopeful for you that you're going to do this, that you're going to bring the universe in on your efforts to prospect. All right. You're going to invite the universe to contribute and to co-create with you today. You're going to believe that your effort is creating an appointment. I love how Russ said, don't go for the contact, go for the appointment. He said that, what was that, Monday? I think he talked about that. So as you're starting your day, be grateful for the appointment that is created. And words are powerful. I'm told this all the time. My friends tell me this all the time, how I talk to myself. You know, words are super powerful. And so that one word is not will be. It's not I want to. It's not I hope. Okay. It is I am grateful for the appointment that is created today. So just make sure that when you're being in gratitude for these events that you're creating, that it is already happened. Okay. It has already happened for you. Then you're going to focus on the gratitude you feel for the success of your prospecting efforts. There was one more example I wanted to give you. I had, when I was preparing for this adventure of this job, and I didn't know it, it was probably 2010, 2011, my sister and I were talking about blogging, and I started a gratitude blog, and I am grateful 101, you know, and I decided that every day I would write something different that I was grateful for. and it had to be what I was grateful for and why I was grateful for it. So I was really feeling it. And I did this for a year and a half. And the idea was that you couldn't say the same thing twice. Okay, so if you want an exercise in gratitude, I would encourage you to do that. You're writing down gratitudes every morning anyway. So try to write something new and different every single day. What you're grateful for and why. I mean, it was sometimes I was grateful for the hard lesson that I learned that day. All right. And sometimes I was grateful for a Bic pen, because that Bic pen is a smooth writing utensil. Okay. I liked how it wrote. All right. So you can, but think about at the end of that year, having 365 things that you're grateful for, you cannot help but have a mind full of abundance. All right. You're going to have an abundant mindset. And so try that. It was really fun. It was actually a really great exercise. Okay. And then you're going to do your job. You're going to take action. You're going to make those calls. And what you're going to do while you're making these calls is you're going to know, you're going to shift your perspective a little bit. You're not being rejected when the no's come. You are eliminating obstacles in your path and creating space for that blessing to come into your life. Okay. So just look at it a little differently and think of it in that way. And then please be open and ready to receive. So the universe is there. The universe has your back. It's exciting. It's an exciting time. I am constantly amazed at the blessings that have come into my life in the last year, even you know, things that I've tried to do, things that I haven't even expected. So it is a really fun time to be alive. I know it's been a challenging year, but the universe still has your back, and it's just there waiting to dump into your lap. So I hope that this is exciting. I hope that you'll take some fun from this and start seeing and experimenting and seeing what you can create. I remember the first time I tried to create something, it was a parking space. You know, I'm going to get the best parking space that's available in that building, you know, and I created a lot of great parking spaces. So sometimes it's fun to just start with things that aren't threatening, right? That aren't scary. But yeah, if you're going to be out there prospecting anyway, bring the universe in on your efforts and see what happens. So I'm really grateful. Thank you for spending time with me today. Let's go ahead and do our closing affirmations.